everyone, my name is Angelica and I work with the SAISD Foundation, and we are talking to Janice Cuccia, who is a coach at Fox Tech High School, and we're going to be talking to her about an innovative grant that she received through the SAISD Foundation. So Coach Cuccia, could you tell me a little bit about your Low Ropes grant and what it does?
Well, low ropes elements involve items made out of wood, such as a telephone pole set up on blocks, wooden boxes that we call mountaintops that the students navigate using a 2x6 board, and they navigate how to go from one platform to another. We have something called an A-frame. We have trolleys that they stand on and try to navigate a course I lay out without falling off. And we have one called Moby Deck, which they get on and they have to balance on a point and get everybody on board and balance without it touching the ground. And these are the items that I requested. I received them, and they're portable, so I can house them, bring them out, put them away, use them. They're used to help students develop teamwork, communication skills, and problem-solving skills while they're being physically active.
But ROPE is an acronym, right? What is the acronym mean?
ROPES for me stands for Rising Over Problems, Experiencing Success. The high ropes elements involve ropes and cables and things like that, belay ropes and whatnot. But when I started using ropes challenge elements and used to have a high ropes course in the middle school I was at, I decided to take the ROPES and use it for rising over problems, experiencing success.
So what made you think of this grant, and why did you feel it would be successful after implementation?
So I used these elements before when I was at a middle school in the district, and then I came over here to Fox Tech. I had some similar elements until construction came along. I had to lose those elements, and then over time it's like I need to get these things back. My students are shy, they don't have a lot of confidence, they don't believe in themselves, and they have so much talent and ability that they haven't tapped into. And I have seen, taking a group of kids through these elements, how their self-confidence builds, how they grow, how they learn to work together, how they learn to communicate.
And how leadership is created through that problem solving.
Exactly.
Right?
So one example, had a small group out there, and we were doing an item called mountaintops, where the group kids get all on one platform and have to navigate to a smaller one, and then again to a larger one using some boards. And kids were trying to solve it, they were failing, they were getting frustrated, and then the quiet, shy young man in the class said, let's try this. And at first the kids, they kind of shut him up, ignored him. And I said, hey, Julio has an idea. So they listened to him, and lo and behold, they solved the problem.
Oh, wow.
So then shortly after that, I moved them on to another challenge called the TP Shuffle, telephone pole shuffle. They line up on a telephone pole, and then they have to rearrange themselves without stepping off. No one can fall off or you start over. They were not being real successful. And then one of the girls said, Julio, how do you think we should solve this? So it was amazing to see how the quiet, shy young man was finally acknowledged in the class. So there's so many skills these kids learn, so many things that happen when you take them through these activities. You don't give them a whole lot of answers of how to solve it. You let them struggle through it, and then you debrief with them. You talk to them. You ask them certain questions.
What didn't work?
Why did it work? Why didn't it work? Who did y'all listen to? Who did y'all not listen to? How did that make you feel?
Right.
And they grow from this.
So have you seen your students react positively to all of this?
Absolutely. They love it. I've had outsiders ask me to take their students, bus their kids over here and take their kids through some of these activities. And I've used it with the volleyball team. I've used it with swimmer team. I've used it in the past, I used it with our state championship basketball team. So I've used these elements, and not having the funding to get it, and being without it for the 5-6 years due to construction, I'm like, I'm going to ask my new principal what she thinks. She said, go for it. So I wrote for her so I could start rebuilding my collection of low ropes course elements and start using it, and taking some of these kids that need a little boost of confidence through something, a little growth in teamwork, a little growth in problem solving. And so I can help them grow as young men and women.
And it seems like the skills that you're introducing them to be able to kind of like highlight them with, that they are like lifelong
Absolutely.
transferable skills
Yes.
that they can take
Yes.
not just in your classroom but across their entire time at school and even outside.
I've been blessed to be in this district for over 30 years, and I run into a number of former students, and the things they remember are often those types of activities. They're lifetime activities that you can teach, lifetime skills that they don't even realize they got until they're later, and they reflect like, oh,
It was because of that.
because of that. I remember when we did that. They asked me, how did you do this activity? I want to run it with my team at this company, or I want to see if we can take my team somewhere where that has these elements and we can do some of these, because we need to grow together and we need to learn to problem solve and be team.
So how can you tell me too also with this implementation of this grant that you received through the foundation, you've received other grants as well, right? Can you kind of walk me through like your history with the foundation?
So my history with the foundation is with a former principal about 6-7 years ago, kept reminding us about these grants. Y'all need to take advantage of them. And I'm like, what is she talking about? So one day I sat down and looked it up and studied it. And I said, what do I have to lose? I also do archery. And this particular principal had said, you know, let's do it. Let's get some more bows and arrows. Let's get the curtains. They cost monies that we don't have. We don't have the money to put these things in place because we get a certain amount of money. You can only buy so many balls, and some of this stuff is more expensive than a bag of balls.
Because it's not your typical activity.
Correct. And so I've been able to sustain an archery program, and we've gone to state the last 5 years with the archery team, and that has been totally funded by either mini grants or the innovative grant that the foundation supports. I've done
Archery seems like to me like such an old world kind of thing. Like
It
what
is.
made you want to implement that?
because I like it. So actually, I became a basic archery instructor. I saw it. I was interested, so I went to the course. I didn't really think I was going to use it in school, but I had an innovative administrator at the time, and her sons had done archery in a family camp, and she says, oh my gosh, we need this.
Right.
Because archery is similar to ropes course elements. It brings out the confidence in kids who are shy, quiet. I'm sure you have your athletic young man or woman who has that confidence, but this is what I call an equalizer. You don't have to be the stud athlete or the best, strongest, fastest person. It's an equalizer. It gives everybody the same opportunity to be successful. So you teach them the skills, you teach them the rules, you give them that opportunity, and then just going to state, qualifying for state, they're like, oh my gosh, we're going to a state tournament.
And then in archery, that's not like your typical activity as far as like sports go within.
No, it's not a UIL supported program. I do it because it's something I like, and we've been successful, and the kids like it. I teach it in my physical education class, and then I do after school a couple times a week to help them also when the gym's available. But it has to be sustained. I have to sometimes ask for another grant to replace equipment that gets old and isn't usable, like arrows can only last so long.
Right.
So I have to ask for some assistance because I don't get enough physical education money to support it.
Right.
Same thing with the ropes course activities. I've also requested for GPS units. I've taught kids. Those are global positioning satellite units, and you teach them how to travel. So it's similar to using a map and compass, but now you're using a satellite system that helps you navigate from.
Which makes it more relevant to like today's.
Makes it relevant. Also introduces them to skills that they may not know they need, but if they go into the military, any branch of the military, they need to have some background in GPSs and map and compass and things like that. And then for a fun one, I went to a Texas Outdoor Education Association professional development in September, and we played ladder ball there, which is sometimes called cowboy golf or something. So it's these 3 rungs, and you toss 2 golf balls on a string towards it, and you score points. My kids had so much fun participating in that game. It's something different. It's not basketball, volleyball, something they've done since middle school. And we actually held a tournament And I had
Really?
prizes for my first and second place teams in each PE class, and they
That's
loved
awesome.
it. And it's things they don't get introduced to in their regular routine, but it's things that they might see later when they go to college. There's
And already having that exposure kind of like helps them. It could be because what I'm hearing from you is it's a lot of team building, but also like exposure to the individual things outside of what their everyday
Exactly.
is. And if they do go outside of the city
They have
or the
it.
state for college, I mean, they already have a leg up with, and they can feel welcome and part of something.
Exactly. And the neat thing is, like, I ran into one young lady at Bill Miller. She's still in college, and she waited on me, and she's like, "Oh, coach, I started a geocaching team." And geocaching is something else I've introduced them to, using the GPSR units. And she goes, and we go like once a month, and we go geocaching. So these are lifelong things, and now they can introduce other people to some of this stuff. And it's fun, it's healthy. And the biggest thing is these kids need opportunities to experience success. And so in the ropes world, ropes challenge course world, we call it progressive success.
Mm-hmm.
So you give them a little success on a telephone pole, you give them a little success navigating a group across some platforms with a 2x6.
Mm-hmm.
Then later on, when they have to solve something bigger, they have the confidence to do it. They have the confidence to be the leader or the follower.
You won't shy away from
Don't shy away, and they don't
overcoming that
become
obstacle.
quitters when things are
Right.
difficult.
So tell me, Coach, do you think you would be able to have done any of this without the support of the foundation?
No, because again, like I said earlier, all these things need financial support to purchase, to put into action, to put into place. And we're limited there. It's just the fact.
Right.
You get so many funds to get so much paper to run, reams of paper to run things off, or to make copies, or so many cones, or so many jump ropes.
But it
so many
doesn't end there, right?
It's not in there. It's not there. So if you want to be innovative, if you want to go outside the box, and you want to introduce these kids to these unique things, you have to have money to support what you want to do.
Right?
You do.
And so you would then encourage other folks to want to get involved with
Oh,
the
absolutely.
foundation, whether it be making a monetary donation to our
I
group.
even make donations back to it. So when I do my United Way, I toss some money that way because it has helped me so much. I also go out and tell my fellow teachers, my up and coming teachers, you need to do a mini grant. You need to, you can't get what you want. See if you can get some support from the foundation, because it's not just me at Fox Tech. There are other teachers who have done great innovative things, and I hear about it sometimes. We need the support. If we are going to be innovative and expose our students to something unique and different and relevant,
and help them lead them to success.
Yes, and that's what
we need the support.
That's what we're here to do.
Well, Coach Cuccia, I really appreciate your time and everything that you do. I'm really excited to see what you can continue to do with all of the access that you have been awarded through the support of the foundation. So if you have any questions about any of what it is that we just talked about, please let us know. And we hope to continue to see you all on these interviews. So again, thank you, Coach Cuccia.
You're very welcome.
We will sign off. Thank you.
Bye-bye.